Great to see you. Thank you for helping facilitate putting this together. And this time I'll bring on Lauren Sims from the town of Mount Pleasant, and also our great mayor, the Honorable Haynie. Good afternoon, you two.
Hey, how are you?
Very well.
Hey, Shane.
Hey, Mr. Mayor. It's good to see both of you. I suspect both of you had a great weekend.
I did. Yeah, it was nice. How about yourself?
Yeah, same. It was nice. You know, worked in the garden a bit, got some exercise, enjoyed Mother Nature, so it was nice. I know I went to my first restaurant, and that was an interesting situation. It's a lot different when you go to a restaurant now. And Mr. Mayor, I know you as well. You went to a restaurant for the first time. Tell me about your experience. Hopefully it was kind of like mine was, which was a good thing.
Yeah. Thank you, and thanks for having this. I hope y'all aren't getting tired of me on Mondays. I told Shane I'll do this as long as it's useful, and you know, if we need to pivot, change down the road, that's fine. I've enjoyed having the opportunity, I know Lauren has, to talk to the business leaders of Mount Pleasant and talk about what's going on. And one of the things I wanted to mention was last week, you know, after patio dining was allowed, I ate out, and we all live in Mount Pleasant, right? We all live in heaven. It was so weird to have not eaten out since February, right? Since February. So I picked a restaurant, and I don't think, you know, as mayor, I ought to like plug one over the other or whatever, but I picked one that I said, I bet they'll do it right. And I went there, and I had an out-of-town friend coming through town, so we met. And I just wanted to say that I could not have felt better or more proud of a Mount Pleasant business. Everything, right down to a little sticker, a little sign that was Velcroed to a table, to, you know, so it wouldn't blow off, couldn't get moved around, couldn't get flipped over, that let you know this table has been sanitized since it was last used. So everything from start to finish, you know, they had the plexiglass, and they had the diffusers up and all of that stuff, hand sanitizer, paper, everything, plastic, you know, throwaway spoons and all that. The menu that you check something off so you're not passing one around. It was a paper menu. And two lessons for this, so we can kind of keep this on the big topics. One is, I got the feeling that Mount Pleasant business, that restaurant, really cares for their staff safety. And two, as a loyal customer, they really cared about my safety. So that's the name of the game right now. That's the reality we live in. And Shane, was your experience pretty similar?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, very similar. So social distancing from the waitress. She had on a mask, one-time use silverware, one-time use menu, and we ate outside. So it was a very pleasurable experience. It's one of my favorite restaurants in Mount Pleasant, and they were doing it right. So I was very pleased with that and felt very safe. So I'm glad to hear your experience as well. Lauren, did you have any experience like that over the weekend with a restaurant for the first time?
I did. Yeah, we actually ate out yesterday evening and sat out on the patio. One of the businesses here in Mount Pleasant, and it was fabulous. The weather was perfect, but I felt very well cared for. No detail was overlooked. There were folks actually in the dining room as well. And they had a path kind of mapped out so that we weren't walking past the tables where folks were dining, and to the patio outside, and it was great. They took every precaution. I felt very safe, and I was so happy to have someone else do the cooking. Oh, that was such a treat. So it was a very enjoyable experience, for sure.
Excellent. We're glad to hear it. Well, Mr. Mayor, today's a big day. Close contact businesses are open, so folks can go get their hair cut, get a tattoo if they want to. COVID-19 tattoo, their first tattoo out of the house, but it's a big day. Close contact is now open, and we still have to be very smart about what we're doing as these businesses do open up.
That's right, because getting those haircuts at home and those tattoos at home have led to some pretty messy situations, I'm sure. But yeah, people are doing it. I know I saw a couple of Mount Pleasant barbershops on social media showing all the precautions. One had actually built little self-contained plastic booths around every chair. This is a guy's barbershop. I don't know if that's possible at a women's salon, but so that you know that not only the barber next door, the chair next door, but the people next door, there's, it's not sneezing, not coughing. You can't get your hair cut with a mask on. So I looked at that and I thought, Mount Pleasant businesses seem to really be getting it. That I've said this before, safety is a brand now. It's a really good brand to have. And so people are doing it. Lauren, I don't know if y'all fielded a bunch of calls over the weekend, but the guidelines are out. I will again plug the One Region Reignite, little small RE, Ignite has industry-specific guidelines that help you do these things and help you show your customers and your staff, we're taking this seriously. We're in business, and that's the thing. Let's don't forget, we're talking about safety and all that, but let's don't forget, we're in business. The close contact is open, the restaurants are opening. We're in business, and we're going to do it right so we can stay in business.
And that goes to the strategies and the tactics that these local businesses should be putting in place and keeping in mind as they continue to stay open, obviously generate more business and more revenue, and then more customers come in. I think having a plan in place, if you're a business and if you're a member on this call today, having a plan in place, a strategy in place so that your customers feel safe about coming in. You can be open all day long, but if you're not following the protocols and the guidelines, then customers are not going to visit, and they're going to tell folks that maybe you're not doing it the right way, and then thereby you're losing business. So it's a matter of good business practices to be doing the right thing right now, right, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, it is. And to all the business owners that are on here, I know you're thinking about it. This is your livelihood. I don't mean to be, I'm from the government. I'm here to help you, right, Lauren? That type thing. But the strategies and the thing to remember, let me give you the numbers today that we got in our staff teleconference. Our confirmed cases in Mount Pleasant in the 3 zip codes, 429 takes in part of Mount Pleasant, but 64 and 66 is flattened out at like 118. But the estimated number, and we don't know how they crank all these numbers out, but it's worth watching because of the, I think they make adjustments for, okay, so how many tests were there? And were these positives, were they in a nursing home or whatever? Because, the state is testing all the nursing homes. But one thing I noticed in getting ready for this today, first of all, statewide, there were 627 new cases since Friday. And we think a lot of that is due to the intense testing in the nursing homes. But on the 13th of May, the estimated cases in the Mount Pleasant community was 807. Today, the estimated cases is 843. Now, I don't know how they do that, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, but the point of that is, and if the reading public is out there, the virus is still there. Just because we're doing social distancing and we're using paper menus and we're going one way in the grocery stores and all that stuff, doesn't mean that we aren't still fighting the virus. The good thing it means is we're winning, and that's what I love, because this has been a fight. For me, it's been a competition. It's been somewhat personal, and I think we're winning, and I want to keep winning. But those strategies are keep your staff safe, protect your vulnerable populations. If you have staff that have a compromised health situation or something like that, think about them, be as flexible as you can. And I know what we're doing at the town, and again, I don't run this, but our town administrator, Eric DeMora, does, is we're not having everybody all at one time. Once everything is back to normal, I know that in the wing where I work, some of the staff will be there some days and others on other days. And, that's like watertight compartments on a ship. If one compartment gets flooded, the others aren't. And so the ship stays afloat. And it's those kind of strategies and tactics to think about. And I know Lauren has had a lot of contact with a lot of businesses. I do want to mention again that we reported today our police and fire are out working in a cooperative way. Public safety as opposed to law enforcement, you better do this or else. No, it's saying, hey, here's your max, under the normal fire regulations. So 50% of that, if you're retail or restaurant, is this number, helping people comply, doing all of that. One thing I did hear this weekend, and it was all over social media, but one well-intentioned, entertainment restaurant bar place just got overrun. People just showed up and they just got overrun. They worked with the town. They're trying to correct that, trying to prevent it. And I love that because that's the Mount Pleasant spirit. I mean, everybody's been cooped up and everybody wanted to get out, but the business said, oh my gosh, we got things we need to comply with, not just to comply, but for the safety of our staff and our customers. And so businesses want to do it and do it right. But again, Mount Pleasant is open for business, and we're going to try to keep doing it right. Aren't we, Lauren?
Sorry, I was on mute. Absolutely. I didn't put, of all times for the mute button to be stuck. Sorry.
Well, you know, it's interesting, that Mount Pleasant restaurant you talked about. It sounds kind of like what happened out at the beaches over the weekend. I mean, the beaches were overrun, obviously, with people. So I have some folks I work with, and they were telling me some stories that were happening out at Folly Beach, and you just kind of shake your head. Obviously, we want to get out and we want to have fun and enjoy ourselves and get back to some sense of normalcy. But, you know, we're only 8-9 weeks into this thing. And as much as I want to get a haircut, probably not going to do it right now just to be safe. But, you know, again, it's all about making good choices during this time.
Right. Right. And, you know, it's hard to do business if you're not healthy. It's hard to do business if your staff gets sick. And I have not been anywhere since February. I drove somewhere over the weekend and went to a grocery store. And I will say this, the further I think you get from the coast, because we have the beach and we have Shin Creek and we have Waterfront Park and all that, it seems like summer, it seems like normal. It's a little more subdued, the little further inland. But, you know, saw a little bit more mask wearing and that kind of stuff. And when I'm out in public, I do, just out of consideration. Same reason I carry a handkerchief, that if I sneeze, just out of, not trying to be a fearmonger or anything, but just out of courtesy. And so we don't want the mentality in Mount Pleasant to be that the whole thing is over. Well, the whole thing is over if we do it right and we stay open and we stay well, and that's the whole goal here. Can I mention a couple of things, Shane, from the town?
Absolutely. Yes, sir, please.
Sure. Made a quick list in things in getting business back to normal and helping the town. The design review board is going to try to meet on May 27th. So if you have something that's already been approved, but it just needs like that last design stage or something like that, they're trying to meet. They're working with the technology. We want to make sure that all of our approval things, whether it's at the council level, which we really haven't done any, but any of the boards or commissions meet that public test. And the public has to have involvement and has to have input and feedback. So if the technology works, they'll meet on the 27th. Court sessions will start back on June the 2nd at 8:30. So, you know, if you owe a little check for the privilege of driving at your favorite speed in the town of Mount Pleasant, you might be showing up in person sometime here soon. The swimming pool's open today, of course, with guidelines. Those are out on social media. Our council committees will be meeting in person again on the first Monday of June, which I think that's the first, isn't it? In June, first Monday. So we'll do it in council chambers with social distancing and all, but we've been, holding our meetings by Zoom like this. The other thing that we need to address, and Lauren is probably going to bring this up, is our temporary. We suspended the plastics ordinance, the packaging, and the temporary signs. And I think by law that ordinance expires on the 27th of May, a week from today. So we'll figure that out. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. And then again, if you have any question about how, compliance, social distancing markers, where people stand, if you can't let more people in your place of business, our town staff, you can either go to Lauren or go straight to the fire department or the police department. We want to work with you, and we appreciate the fact that as a business, you want to talk to us about how to make this work, because it keeps us all healthy and keeps us in business.
And Lauren, if you could expand on that, if someone needs to get a hold of the checklist for business, the guidelines, how can they go about doing that? Where can they find it?
Yeah, it's available on our website, which is www.tompsc.com. On our main page, we have a section specifically for businesses, and once you click into there, there's a reopening guide, and it has all of these specific guidelines. So I saw there was a question about pools. There is one related to commercial pools available on our website, and really every industry under the sun, they've got the guidelines there. So if you're looking specifically for the guidelines, I would direct you to the website. But if you have specific questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me if we can help you with putting together a plan for your business or making sure that you know your capacity limit, especially with the upcoming holiday weekend. We expect folks to be out and about. We expect there to be visitors in town. So we're just making sure that all of our businesses have their plans ready to go, and we would love to partner with you and help you develop those if you would like that. So feel free to reach out to us. I'll be happy to provide my email in the chat section for everybody, and I'll make sure that you get connected to the folks that you need to be.
Okay, great, Lauren. Thank you very much. Well, Mr. Mayor, you know, obviously in a situation like this, there could be problems when it comes to supply chains and things like that. Let's talk a little bit about the CRDA. I know that they have a rapid response program in place. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. It's called the Rapid Response Team. They're going to be meeting regularly over the next 60 days. One of the things that's been exposed in all this is the interruption to the supply chain, especially for overseas products. They're addressing a couple of things. One is to try to help expedite. So if you have a problem and you're a manufacturer in Mount Pleasant and you got supply chain issues, go to CRDA, and the head of this task force is one of our own, Ford Graham, who serves on our economic advisory panel, development advisory panel. And so he is heading this up. They can help hopefully get rapid answers and get some rapid response to things like this. One of the things they're trying to do is put together as much local sourcing as they can. And I don't think local just means the Tri-County area, but state or whatever. If you're used to shipping something in from overseas and all of a sudden that's a problem, if this task force can help you find those products locally sourced, then we're all the better for it. They're also working on long-term strategies, as we all are. We've all seen some chinks in our armor from this, whether it's business or government or anything else, and we're learning the ways we can change and what the lessons are from this. The other thing that I found quite interesting in the latest thing that they put out is that real estate needs are changing, and some very heavily, offices where you've got cubicles, kind of a dense population in an office setting is going to need more space. And one of the issues they're trying to address is how to get rapid, and here's a great term, short-term rental of office space. We all associate that with Airbnb and things like that, because we know by design that is a slow thing. It can take 60 days to get a lease done and get it closed, but people may need it. It may need to be temporary. So this rapid response task force is going to put together resources so that if you're heavily staffed and you get a lot of people and you're going, wait, I can't comply, or not even just comply, but just for your own concern for your staff, distance people, and you might need to expand a little bit, give them a call and see who can help, and maybe some people in the business and maybe somebody watching knows something about that. I hadn't even thought about that, but that's a great one to think about. And then they are also talking about all the ways to help the manufacturing sector. And we know Mount Pleasant is not a heavy manufacturing area. We're more office technology and things like that. But there is help there. There's conversation. There's networking that can go on if you want another source. That's one of the things I think that has really sprung out of all this. I know in my position as mayor, I have spent more time talking to other mayors of other places than I have the entire 3 years I've been mayor, just in this last 60 days. And I'm sure businesses are doing the same thing, because crowdsourcing answers like that is one of the best things we can do. So the other thing, I'll just segue into that, is we had a very productive Reignite meeting, which is the one region task force that I'm also on. And so we're working very hard on that, and what we're going to try to do the next phase. And and I've said this how many weeks now, there are those guidelines, industry specific, to help people get there, to get your business, your specific sector of business open safely. But we're trying to get the name and the brand, and there'll be some polling out there to see what you think of this one region brand. And the point is, we don't give up our identity as Mount Pleasant. We don't give up our governance. We don't give up having our own Chamber of Commerce. But we want people to know that this is a region where you want to do business. And we're a bunch of people in this region that are thinking in a COVID, minded way, and doing the best things we can as business, whether we're in hospitality or manufacturing or shipping or anything else, banking, any of those things. So if you get a call asking about that, please take the time to answer that survey, because it will really help us brand that, figure out how to get this done and how to get it out there.
Mr. Mayor, you are getting a lot of message alerts over there. Everything okay?
What's going on over here?
Everything good on?
Hang on. I may be having a power problem here shortly. Hold on just a second. Y'all talk. Let me cut this off and correct my battery here.
That sounds good. Lauren, once again, let's talk about the guideline checklist. I know you sent out via chat a moment ago the link to that, but it's important for folks that are watching here today that if they have questions about what they should be doing in the proper way as far as procedures and protocols, they're welcome to call the town and speak with you and your staff, correct?
Absolutely. In fact, I would encourage you to do so. It's just a ton of questions out there, and I think businesses, rightfully so, are wanting to make sure that they are planning this out to the nth degree, because they know that they can't take a chance on customers or staff not feeling safe in their place of business. And so we've been fielding a lot of calls and great questions. And so we have the checklist available for you, and we encourage you to use it. Go ahead and put some suggestions on the checklist for you of things for you to be doing and to mark off, and to visibly post it somewhere in your place of business. So when folks walk up, they can see it right when they get there, and they can see all the safety precautions that you're taking. We've added some blank spaces for you to add additional measures that are probably specific to your particular business. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us, particularly with capacity limits and ingress and egress questions. Our fire marshal's office has been out and about assisting a number of businesses as they put together those plans. Especially as we are utilizing a whole lot more of the outdoor space than we have previously. You know, the council passed an ordinance, temporary ordinance recently that allows for businesses to expand their outdoor operations, both retail and dining establishments. And so just want to make sure that while businesses are taking advantage of that, they're also not blocking egress, they're providing access, ADA accessibility, things of that nature. So just check in with us. We'd be happy to provide a quick glance over it. And I just want to clarify there were some concerns that folks needed like prior approval to go ahead and start expanding their outdoor operations. And that is in fact not the case. You're free to go ahead and start operating. You just send us your plan. And if we have any questions, then we follow up with you afterwards. But go ahead and start operating with your expanded outdoor operations.
Lauren, what are some of the questions you're getting, and how has the feedback been from business owners and or consumers and residents of Mount Pleasant in regards to this entire situation? Tell us about some of the questions that you are getting, because maybe folks that are asking questions of you, they're same questions might be in the head of someone watching this call today.
Well, I have a quick question that came in, Lauren.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that goes back to the sign ordinance question. So I think you and the mayor both addressed that to a certain degree, that there's going to be on May the 27th, a committee meeting to talk about sign approvals. But in the meantime, we've got businesses that are close contact, like opening tomorrow, and they're brand new, and they want to let everybody know they're open. So they have a banner, they have signs. I don't know if there's anything involving, a billboard with lights, but what are their guidelines? Do they go back to that website?
Yeah, so the temporary sign, prior to COVID, if you wanted to put up a big banner or something outside your place of business, or you wanted to use those yard signs like you've seen around town, you would have to get what's called a temporary sign permit from the town. One of the very first things that Mayor and Council did when this whole pandemic started was they relaxed that. So they said, you don't need a permit, put out the signage that you need to let folks know how you are doing business, and that still applies. The May 27th date is what Mayor was saying. The ordinance technically expires on that day. Now, whether council is going to take it up before that expiration date and maybe renew it, I don't know, but I feel certain they would be doing everything in their power to continue to support the business community. So for right now, you've got banners, you want to put signs out that say, hey, we're opening, now taking reservations, now taking appointments, put them out. Go ahead and put them out. We are very happy to see those. We're very happy to support the businesses in that way. Similarly, if you are a business that has to use to-go containers, and recently we're complying with the environmentally friendly packaging and products ordinance, that too has been relaxed for the time being. Just understanding that there is difficulty in supply chain, and trying to procure some of those products may be a little bit more difficult right now. And so again, in just an attempt to support the business community, Mayor and Council went ahead and relaxed that. So those are two things for folks to take advantage of. So if you've got a sign you want to put up, put it up.
Rebecca, did we lose the mayor?
I think so.
Uh-oh.
Hey, I'm here.
There he is.
There he is.
There he is. Great. Thank
Can
you.
you see me?
Not now, but we did a minute ago. Now we got you. Yes, sir. Now we got you.
Okay.
Yep.
This is weird. This must be technology espionage. I'm on Zoom and Skype is pinging my tablet, telling me that it wants to be running. I should be running Skype or something. So I apologize for all the dings, but I can't get it to turn off.
No, that's okay. I know you were talking about the reignite. Did you wrap up your train of thought on that, sir?
I did, yes.
Okay. Rebecca, before we wrap things up today, the mayor's got some motivational thoughts that he wants to deliver before we end. But before we get to that, are there any other questions, Rebecca, that we have for the mayor?
No, they've been very well addressed by both the mayor and Lauren. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to see the businesses opening back up again, particularly our new businesses that are also new chamber members. So looking forward to that this week.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, it's great to see you, Lauren. Great to see you, Mr. Mayor. I know you've got a motivational thought you'd like to kind of wrap things up with, so I'll give it to you, sir.
I do. I saw a post today by a friend of mine who doesn't live in Mount Pleasant, but she and her husband have a place at Wild Dunes. They're in our area a lot, and it's about change. And this whole epic has been change. And what she mentions is, her name's Meredith Elliott Powell, is that human nature is resistant to change because it's different and it can be scary. But change also means there are opportunities. And so what that means is this is an opportunity to get ahead. This is an opportunity to make changes that will last. And this is an opportunity to actually get ahead of the competition. So we all have to embrace this. We can't stop it. The change is here. We at the town have tried to help navigate it as best we can. And through things like this and formats like this and all the cohesion and cooperativeness of the Chamber of Commerce. So let's embrace this change and let's look for ways to be stronger and better because of it.
Absolutely. Well, it's always great to see you, Lauren. Always great to see you, Mr. Mayor. A reminder for folks that are watching, we do this each and every Monday at 3:30. We call it Monday with the Mayor. If you joined us late or if you want to go back and check the answers of what the mayor or Lauren had said, if you have a question about an ordinance or the phone number or whatever the case may be, the website, you can go back and watch these on YouTube. You can also visit our Coronavirus Resource Center page at the website, MountPleasantChamber.org. And again, as I've said in many communications with you as members, if you need the chamber, please feel free to reach out to me directly at Shane@MountPleasantChamber.org, Shane@MountPleasantChamber.org. I'll be happy to connect you to whoever or whatever you need to help you navigate through the COVID-19 situation that we are in. So with that said, I thank Lauren Sims. I thank Mayor Haynie for your time. We'll see you back here next Monday at 3:30. Be safe.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.